Joining me now live is Stefan, Romaniw, co-chair of Australian Federation of Ukrainian Organisations. Thank you very much for joining us on what is a very significant day, 12 months since that war began. How will it end? Is this the year that peace can be brokered?
Look, I think the world wants peace. Ukraine wants peace. And I'm very interested in the China resolution. Again, we don't apportion blame anywhere. This just happened and somehow it'll be fixed. Unfortunately, it's not as easy as that. To say that sovereignty is to be maintained, but there's some justification to this special operation is just falling into the Russian propaganda. The fact is, Ukraine didn't start this. The whole fallacy about NATO getting closer to Russia is, again, the propaganda that the Russian machine puts out. The fact is, Russia, Putin, has invaded a country, wants to continue destroying, killing, raping until he thinks that Ukraine will succumb. And I don't think that's going to happen. I've just been to the National Press Club where the Ukrainian ambassador, Vasyl Ministrichenko, also spoke about these issues. Ukraine does have a peace plan. It's pretty straightforward. Boots out of Ukraine, all territories back, then let's start the negotiation. But this whole business about, again, others speaking about Ukraine without Ukraine is just not on. I know that, for example, President Zelensky apparently has reached out to the China leadership. Why aren't they speaking to him? Why are they speaking to Putin?
Even overnight, NATO's chief said that he'd seen some signs that China could back Russia's war and, in fact, supply arms. What do you think of that?
Again, if China wants to finish this war, if it's genuine, then it certainly won't be arming the Russians. What it will do is it will use its influence to show Putin that he needs to withdraw, that he's made a mistake, that yes, he's going to be humiliated. And I know these are sort of basic steps, but we're talking about a war that's not only 365 days. Keep in mind, this started in 2014. Imagine if in 2014 the West had provided Ukraine with all the support that it's providing now, and we wouldn't be in this situation. So I wouldn't be too confident in any resolution that China is putting because it has some of those criteria which are just not palatable for Ukraine given what it's lost.
And you mentioned as well just before that Russia seems to be continuing this fight and not looking like giving up anytime soon. Does each side even have enough weapons to stay in the fight?
Well, that's the question that everybody's asking. How much have they still got? But I think, again, the pressure that has to be put on Russia, China saying take off the sanctions, that's the last thing you'd want to be doing is taking off sanctions at Russia at the moment because obviously it's hitting them. We've spoken about, let's go one step further, the rebuild of Ukraine, the repossession of Russian assets of the oligarchs to help in that process through the Magnitsky Act. I know this seems like, it's a one-sided situation from Ukraine that we only want one thing. Ukraine wants peace. Ukraine didn't start this war. Ukraine is ready to, from our understanding, is ready to talk to anybody, but on its terms. In other words, territorial integrity, sovereignty, boots off the ground, Russian boots off the ground, then you can start a conversation. But you can't start a conversation with a bully and now being backed by somebody who said, well, we've got a plan and, we'll support you. Well, I don't understand the China position. If you want to be a mediator, if you want to deal with this issue, then talk to the Ukrainians. Why are you talking to Putin?
Australia has also announced that it will gift spy drones worth $33 million to Ukraine. When will these reach the front line?
Look, we've just had a meeting with some people from Defence. I'm in Canberra at the moment, heading back to Melbourne because we've got rallies in Melbourne and actually all states today. Australia will be lit up in blue and yellow in every state and territory. From the point of view of these drones, we spoke to Defence, and I just reiterated the message that we got from Minister Kuleba, the Ukrainian Foreign Affairs Minister, when I was last there in December. Very appreciative for what Australia and others are doing, but do it with speed. We need it now. So we've made that point to Defence today, that the announcement's good. Next question is, when will the next 45 Bushmasters go, and when will these drones go? Because they need it now. And Kaleba made he's very, very grateful about his comment was, statements are statements, but we have to act. And Australia is supporting Ukraine. We thank Australia for what it's doing so far. It really has stood up. But at the same time, we have to do these things with speed.